A warm welcome to AD4TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory. I am Gracious Ogon. Egypt and Algeria confirmed new cases of the coronavirus this Monday, increasing the number of recorded patients in Africa. The Health Ministry in Algeria said a 53-year-old woman and a 24-year-old daughter had confirmed positive to the virus. Meanwhile, Egypt's Health Ministry said a foreigner has tested positive to the virus, becoming the second case in the country. In a related development, the South Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs this Monday said a total of 81 countries have imposed entry restrictions on the South Korea over fears of the coronavirus. According to the ministry, 37 countries are barring the entry of travelers who have visited South Korea in the past 2 weeks into their territory. The ministry has, however, called on governments to refrain from taking such excessive measures against South Korea to prevent its citizens from being stereotyped. Still on the coronavirus, the government of Lagos State, southwest Nigeria, had expressed confidence in the response approach initiated by the Incident Command Center to tackle the outbreak of the virus in the state. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, said this when visiting this Sunday the state-owned biosecurity and containment facility at the Infectious Disease Hospital in Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria. The government expressed confidence that with the measures put in place and assured all that the nation would survive the epidemic, while adding that the state remains committed towards preventing the human-to-human transmission of the virus. In the same vein, the Nigerian Minister of Health, Osage Ehanire, this Monday in Abuja, Nigeria, said that the 4 Chinese nationals quarantined in Wasai, Plateau State, Nigeria, have been suspected of contracting the coronavirus, have tested negative following a test conducted on them at the Nigerian Center for Disease Reference Laboratory. Also speaking on the matter, the Plateau State Commissioner for Information, Dan Manjag, said though the suspect tested negative of the disease, they've been placed under supervised isolation for 14 days and therefore urged the people of the state to remain calm and go about their normal businesses. The United Nations Chief, Antonio Guterres, last week at the New School University in New York, United States of America, called for an end to gender inequality, a practice which is said is a shame to all in the 21st century. It said the transformation and redistribution of power among sexes is necessary to safeguard the future and the planet, adding that it was time to stop trying to change women and start changing the systems that prevent women from achieving their potentials. You're watching AD4TV Radio News Updates. We'll go on a short break now. Up next, Pete Buttigieg drops out of race for Democratic nomination, the United States. Turkey shuts down 2 Syrian warplanes and destroys 100 tanks. The Socio-Economic Right and Accountability Project opposes foreign education for repentant Boko Haram terrorists. More stories when we return. Do stay.
Do you have a ceremony or an occasion you want covered? If yes, contact us to give you unparalleled services on our TV, radio, via YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We also have an outdoor garden facility to cater for all your ceremonies, such as birthdays, reunions, receptions, etc. Our rates are modest and customer-friendly. Please visit us at number 3, plot 833, Emmanuel Aguna Crescent, Jabi, Abuja, FCT, Nigeria. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: +234 80 80 87 4444, +234 90 555 62444, +234 702 033 3444. AD4TV Radio, reliable and credible. Learn on the go.
Welcome back. The former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg, a Democratic nominee who rose to prominence as the first openly gay candidate to seek the presidency in the United States, announced this Sunday that he is ending his campaign for the White House. Speaking in South Bend, Mr. Buttigieg said he entered the race in order to bring a certain set of values to the White House, adding that at this stage of his presidential race, the way to keep faith with those goals and ideals is to step aside and help bring his party and the United States together. Turkey has shot down 2 Syrian warplanes and destroyed 100 tanks as it launches a military offensive against the Moscow-backed Syrian regime after an airstrike that killed 34 of its soldiers. This is coming after the Assad regime targeted Turkish soldiers in northern Syria last Thursday, causing tensions between Ankara and Damascus to heighten and detaining 3 Russian journalists in Istanbul this Monday. Turkish Defense Minister Hulusi Akar announced the Operation Spring Shield this Monday and vowed that any attack on Turkish forces or observation posts in Idlib, Syria, would be met with retaliation under the country's right to self-defense, even as the European Union has said it would hold an emergency meeting to discuss how to redouble efforts to address the grave humanitarian crisis in Idlib, Syria. The Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project Nigeria has opposed the bill for the creation of an agency for repentant Boko Haram members, which also provide an opportunity for them to have an education abroad. In an open letter this Sunday by the agency's Deputy Director, Kolawole Oludari, the agency called upon the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, not to allow the bill scale through. The agency contended that the bill will scrap away justice and make mockery of victims and humanitarian crises committed by the Boko Haram terrorist group, adding that prioritizing the education of Boko Haram members over the right of Nigerian children to qualify education is discriminatory as it violates Nigerian constitutional provisions and will undermine national development. Violence against women, particularly intimate partner violence and sexual violence, is a major public health problem and a violation of women's human rights. According to the World Health Organization global estimate, about 35% of women worldwide have experienced either physical or psychological violence in their lifetime. To this regard, Miriam Homezia and Eloho Oyowo, who are both lawyers, spoke to correspondents in Abuja, Nigeria, on the channels victims should follow in order to get justice, while citing instances of some cases of women battering and rape that were won by the victims.
At any point in time where you encounter any form of violence, be beaten, please talk to someone. You can talk to a neighbor that can take you to the police station. FIDA Nigeria is here. There are also other CSOs that work, in these areas that can also help you access justice.
One of worth mentioning is the one in High Court in Jabi recently, where a minor was raped, and we were able to secure justice for the victim. The act was brought, the offense was brought under the Child Rights Act, and the punishment was life imprisonment. We have also secured convictions on wife battery.
Okemute Olori, an advocate for women, has called on women who are going through any form of assault to speak out and not die in silence. While speaking to correspondents in Abuja, Nigeria this Monday, she pointed out some of the damages and effects this causes to women and how it also affects children at the long run.
When the inevitable happens, nobody will know the story because you're not alive to tell your own part of the story. Start speaking out. There's nothing wrong if you're in an abusive marriage to just move out a bit and let the issue be settled. When you battering, of course, physical ones, you see the marks. Some of them leave very everlasting marks on the individual. You also have the case where women become very rigid and frigid because of the experience they've had in abuse. You also have a situation where they're emotionally beaten. You live in constant fear because of the experiences you've had. You begin to, some of them become very reserved. But the ultimate is death. It does affect the children. Some of them grow up and become hostile themselves.
Following the outbreak of the coronavirus in Lagos, Nigeria, Owners of pharmaceutical stores and supermarkets are beginning to exploit the situation by increasing the prices of face masks, infrared thermometer, and hand sanitizers, with many stores and pharmacies running out of the items. Our correspondent spoke to some people on this in Abuja, Nigeria, and this is what they had to say.
The ordinary Nigerians use problem as an opportunity to exploit money from people.
The ice hand sanitizer, the face mask, the price that I know is within the range of probably 250 to 300. But of recent, we discovered that the price has actually gone up, like 50% increase.
I use hand sanitizers a lot. It's always in my bag. So I was in my friend's car today as we were passing. We saw some boys on the street. I mean, those vendors on the street, and she was telling me that, do I know that this single one is, just one single one is 500 naira.
Following the Black History Month, which came to an end this February, tonight, as a mark of honor, we're paying tribute to some notable black men and women who have made their marks in service to humanity. We begin with Martin Luther King Jr., a social rights activist who led the civil rights movement from the mid-1950s until his death by assassination. We also remember the great Madiba Nelson Mandela, a South African anti-apartheid revolutionary who was the first black head of state to be elected in a fully representative democratic election. We cannot forget Harriet Tubman, who was a famous abolitionist known for her exploit in guarding her slaves to freedom on an underground railroad. We also remember Rosa Parks, a civil rights leader whose refusal to give up her seat to a white passenger on a segregated bus led to the Montgomery bus boycott. Also to be mentioned is Maya Angelou, a civil rights activist, a poet, and an award-winning author known for her acclaimed 1969 memoir. Another great accomplisher is George Washington, an American agricultural scientist and inventor. Also to be remembered is Louis Latimer, who invented the filament which lights the bulb, and Dr. Joseph N. Johnson, who invented the remote control. The list is inexhaustive, as we will feed you with more in our subsequent bulletins. Please share your thoughts on our social media platforms at AD4TVRADIO on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. That's it on AD4TV Radio News Updates, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. You can join the conversation on our website at www.ad4tvradio.com. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube page at AD4TV Radio. Many thanks for watching. I am Gracious Ogon.